Are you ready to finally lose weight, feel great in your body, transform your health, wellness, and life as a whole, and maintain it effortlessly? If so, keep listening. What you need is a system called the Radiant Health Protocol. This protocol gets to the underlying root causes and is a solution for various signs and symptoms, conditions, and diagnoses. And in this masterclass video, we're focusing on weight loss and specifically the power of regulating our nervous system while losing weight. So if you haven't seen the first 3 videos of this masterclass series called Break Free Weight Loss, make sure you go back and watch them after this one. That'll be linked below. So this is also in conjunction with the Break Free Weight Loss mini course, an affordable and powerful bundle that I've created just for you. So no matter where you are on your weight loss and health journey, you can get started now with either the mini course alone, or I have a bundle option for a one-on-one consultation and a full month of support with lots of bonuses to customize and make your individual plan for your success. So if you want to break free, lose weight, and keep it off effortlessly, sign up for this full month of support at the link below. It's currently 91% off, and you get the mini course included for free. This will give you all the customized solutions for you and your unique journey. And again, the link is right below in the comments and description. So in this video, we're going to explore the connection between our nervous system, our vagus nerve, our hormones, and weight loss. And we're going to start understanding why it doesn't even matter what you're eating. If your nervous system is dysregulated, it's going to affect your weight. And then we're also going to differentiate between the different nervous system states, such as fight or flight, freeze or fawn, and rest and digest. And we're going to connect those nervous system states to stress eating, emotional eating, and cravings. And then we're going to explore the impact of childhood and adult wounds and trauma and the impact it has on the nervous system and our weight. And we're going to discover techniques to regulate your nervous system that you can start using right now, today. And as always, I've got lots of tips and tricks sprinkled in throughout. And then we're going to tie it right back to that Radiant Health Protocol as a whole. And then I'm going to extend an invitation to you for that affordable break-free weight loss mini course and bundle that I've created for you. So if this resonates with you and you're ready to break free, lose weight, and release the barriers that are stopping you from losing weight, go ahead, click below and get the mini course or the full bundle with a full month of support today. So now before we take I want to take a minute before we jump into the section on nervous system regulation. I want to take a minute to talk about that full Radiant Health Protocol and the 6 pillars of it. So my name is Dr. Beata Harasim, and I'm a holistic and integrative doctor. And again, I work with clients with all sorts of signs and symptoms, diagnoses, conditions, and I do specialize in weight loss, gut health, food allergies, digestion, fertility, prenatal and postnatal care, including breastfeeding, and anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. And this protocol is something that I have integrated from various other methods, techniques, practitioners, and I've created the Radiant Health Protocol, which was born out of my personal journey, health journey, my daughter's health journey, and a culmination of the clients I've worked with. So this is a living and breathing protocol. So the first pillar is holistic nutrition. And this is where we are exploring how important it is to nourish our body with foods that fuel vitality, energy, and enhance our well-being from within. And not just food, but also how do we nourish our mind, body, and soul. Next is emotional energetics and spiritual alignment. So understanding that profound connection between our emotions, the energies of those emotions, and our physical health, clearing past wounds, aligning with our true essence, what's deep in our heart, and tapping into divine intuition for guidance. And this also includes a connection to our higher power, the divine, whatever word you use for that, and how that affects our physical health and well-being. Next is integrated detoxification. So this is way beyond just a cleanse or a short-term diet. With integrated detoxification, we are discovering how to open our innate detox pathways, how to support our detox organs, how to understand that interplay with our emotions and energetics and the nervous system. And next is going to be the decoding your body's language section. This is so powerful because your body communicates with you continuously. So once we start to understand and learn how to decipher its messages and address the root causes that it is communicating to us, rather than masking symptoms with Band-Aid solutions, that is when we get true resolution of signs and symptoms, when we attain true health and wellness and radiance. And this includes intuitive eating, divine muscle testing, intuition training, and learning the signs and symptoms of our body. And again, that meaning. The next pillar is comprehensive gut health and healing. So this is going way beyond supplements and probiotics. We look at how gut health is in relation to your gut microbiome, the lining of your gut wall. How do we heal and seal that? How do we support optimal digestion? It is a cornerstone of overall health. And this also ties into hormones. It ties into our mental states through the gut-brain axis. It affects absolutely everything. And then the last pillar, which is what we're going to focus on today, is nervous system regulation. So being able to get out of fight or flight, which is a nervous system state or a stress state that most of us find ourselves in, and how to shift into rest and digest, which we'll go into in a minute. And without this regulation, if we're not able to shift into rest and digest and stay there, healing is inhibited. Whatever food we're eating, whatever supplements we're eating, they can't actually be absorbed and utilized appropriately in our body. And therefore, the connection to not being able to lose weight. So we're going to dive deep into that in just a moment. So ultimately, nervous system regulation is getting out of fight or flight into rest and digest so that our body can access its innate wisdom, heal and maintain health, and lose weight and maintain a healthy weight. So first thing what we're going to do is we're going to differentiate between the nervous system states. And so there's different branches of the nervous system, and the autonomic nervous system has 3 branches, but we're going to focus primarily on 2 main ones. The sympathetic nervous system, which is a stress state, and the parasympathetic, which is a healing state. The third one is the enteric nervous system, which is all about the gut. So the video right before this was all about gut health, and we're going to tie the gut in today too. But if you haven't seen that one, make sure you go ahead, click back and watch that one as well. So when we're talking about sympathetic nervous system or a stress state, it can also be called fight or flight or freeze or fawn. Now, these states are important. They play an important role in our everyday lives and also way back, thousands of years ago. So the example that I like to give is you're walking out in the forest and you hear rustling in the bushes. And so your nervous system automatically goes into fight or flight because it is a survival response. And so we're thinking, okay, is that a bear? Am I going to fight the bear? Am I going to run away from the bear? That's fight or flight. Freeze and fawn is freeze is, am I going to play dead here and pretend the bear doesn't see me and walks around me? Fawn is, do I try to win the bear over? Do I try to, give it some food or whatnot so that I can win it over? Now, this is, again, a example that is kind of generic, but can you see how it relates to nowadays, right? Our lives nowadays. And the thing is that back then, this response is primarily, it saves lives. It's important. It's there for survival. However, how many times do you feel yourself getting into a stress state, either fight or flight, freeze or fawn, from something that is not life-threatening? So maybe it is an interaction with a coworker or a family member or a friend. Or maybe you get a text message from your boss or an email being like, oh, deadline is coming up. We now go into the stress state so quickly. You open up your social media, you see something triggering. Automatically, we can go into the stress state without recognizing it. Now, the challenge is that when we're in this stress state, our physiology changes. So our blood diverts to our muscles, to our limbs, and it essentially narrows our vision so that we are focusing. We are ready to go. Again, we're ready to fight. We're ready to run away. We're ready to do what we need to. Many of us are in this state constantly. The rest and digest state, which is that parasympathetic state, the healing state, is where our blood actually gets diverted back to our organs. Our breathing slows down. We can take a deeper breath. Our heart rate slows down. We literally can, one of my mentors calls it, you either rest, you digest, you detoxify, you feed, or you breed, right? So when we're in this state, we are relaxed, we're not stressed, we're able to actually digest properly. So we're able to absorb and utilize all that good food that we are eating. we're able to detoxify. So we're going to talk about detoxification later in relation to weight loss, but this is such a key piece. If you're not able to get into rest and digest, detoxification is a huge aspect of weight loss. So if we're not able to get into that state, we're not going to be able to detoxify. Feeding, right? We're not going to be able to really enjoy our food and take the time to eat it. And then breeding, sex, right? So again, many of us in this common world, right, in this modern world, have a low sex drive. We may not, be in the mood. That is a sign that you're not getting into rest and digest. And when we do, our sex drive goes up. We want to procreate in certain ways, right? We want to have that experience. And so these are just little markers and things that you can start recognizing in yourself and building this holistic picture of you, because you're not just A, B, and C. You are so many things. Our body is quantum. It is a universe. There's so many aspects of this. And we need to, again, the Radiant Health Protocol is all about addressing this from all aspects, making sure that we're using a holistic and integrative approach as we're working together. So those are the different states. And so when we want to be in rest and digest as much as we can. Obviously, again, it has benefits. If we're driving our car and someone pulls out of us, we need that fight or flight to kick on so we can brake, we can stop. And we also need to shift into rest and digest so that we can maintain our body functions, we can absorb our nutrition, we can eat, digest, right? And we can have sex and all of the things, enjoy life, right? Fully joy, be present, etc. So when we are in that parasympathetic state, it is directly related to something called the vagus nerve. So when our vagal nerve is high, our vagal tone is high, we experience positive emotions. We experience connections socially, right? We can have those relationships. We feel good. We feel good. When our vagal tone is low, we have inflammation, poor digestion, etc. We're stressed all the time. We're anxious all the time. And so this is that clear connection between our mind and our body. And it's a bi-directional relationship between our brain and the rest of the body, because the vagus nerve is also called the wandering nerve because it connects, it literally innervates so many different organs in our body. So we want to feel good. We want to maintain our body functions. And this is going to help with weight loss as well. Now, one of the ways that you can measure your nervous system state is through heart rate variability. It is one of the best predictors of all-cause mortality. So beyond just weight loss and feeling good, our heart rate variability is a representation of our vagal tone. The higher our vagal tone, the healthier we are, and it decreases our all-cause mortality. So that is so important because, again, this is so beyond just weight loss. It is your health, your wellness as a whole, and how it affects your life as a whole. So next, let's look at, the vagus nerve a little bit more specifically. So the vagus nerve, essentially nerves, get input, they send it up to the brain, and then they receive messages from the brain, and they have an output as well. So there are sensors in the vagus nerve that tell the brain when we are full and when we're hungry based on the release of a hormone called cholecystokinin. And this tells us when we're satiated, when we're full. So this plays a vital role in digestion and gut health as well. And so one of the tips and tricks that I'm going to sprinkle in that we talked about already in the nourishment video as well, if you haven't watched that, make sure to go back and watch it. By eliminating highly processed and sugary foods from your diet, you improve vagal tone and you improve that gut-brain axis communication, and therefore you promote weight loss. So when we're talking about nourishment, and again, eliminating these processed foods, sugar, etc., we're not just looking at it from a diet perspective. Now we're also looking at it from a nervous system perspective. How is this affecting your vagus tone, which again, in turn, is affecting your weight loss? Now there's, again, a gut-brain feedback loop, the gut-brain axis, that is mediated by the vagus nerve. So again, this plays a significant role in how satiated you feel. And then again, we mentioned earlier, the gut, our gut health creates hormones which regulate how our hunger, and our feelings of being satiated. And it also helps maintain a normal, healthy weight for us. So gut health, nervous system, everything is so intertwined. So important to approach it from all of these aspects. So now if you have low vagal tone, right, especially in the gut area, you can have signs and symptoms of inflammation, constipation or diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, weight gain, anxiety and depression, headaches, fatigue and insomnia, joint and muscle pain. So just based on this list, again, take a moment, see what you have. What are the other signs and symptoms that you're experiencing? Can you start getting a bigger picture of what's going on with you and your body? So let's talk about some really easy ways that you can increase vagal tone. These are free, these are quick, these are accessible to everyone. So the first way is something that I call a mindful breath. Now, what this is by breathing, we are able to slow down our breath, and we're actually able to signal to our body that it is safe, that it is safe to just be right now, it is safe to rest. So what I invite you to do is put one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest, and breathe into your belly through your nose. And now a long exhale through your mouth. Now again, breathe in through your nose about a count of 4. And a long exhale about a count of 8 through your mouth. Again, in through the nose, into the belly. Feel your body, feel what's going on. And a nice long exhale through the mouth. How did that feel? Can you feel your heart rate slowing down automatically? Can you feel that kind of wave of relaxation coming over you? This is a fantastic skill that you can do anytime, anywhere. No one has to know you're doing it. The hands are just to help you feel where you're breathing. And it is incredibly profound. It is literally sensing to our bodies, sending signals that it is safe. We are safe. It is okay to rest and digest right now. So I do have a special for those who do get the mini course, and that is a special breathing exercise that you can do just in minutes a day. So 2 to 3 minutes a day that aids in weight loss. It is just as simple as the mindful breathing exercise that we went over. It just brings it up one level to start adding more of that weight loss components. So again, if you're interested in that, go ahead, click the link below. Super easy, simple technique included in the mini course and the full bundle. So another great tip and trick that is accessible to everyone, free to everyone, is getting out in nature. Get out, feel the sun on you, breathe in fresh air, be around trees, ground, put your hands, your feet on the ground, on the sand. Such an important thing to connect to nature and really be present in nature as well. No headphones, just listen to nature itself, look at the sky. So the next piece that I want to touch on is that it doesn't even matter what you're eating, because if your nervous system isn't regulated, just like we mentioned before, you are not going to be able to properly digest your food and actually absorb and utilize the nutrition in it. So you may be eating, right? Many of us, you may have already tried different diets and things like that. If you've already tried different diets, you're already eating organic, wonderful, healthy food, but you're not seeing improvement, or you're taking supplements and all this and it's not working, your nervous system is dysregulated. Your nervous system isn't, if it's dysregulated, your digestion is not going to be optimal. It's not going to be able to absorb and utilize all of this nutrition that you're giving it. So that's why it's so important to have this component in addition to our weight loss journey. We need to make sure that we're regulating our nervous system. Now, the next thing is, stress eating, emotional eating, and cravings. So again, when we talk about the sympathetic state, that is a stress state. So how many times have you found yourself stress eating, where something stressful is happening, at work, at home, wherever you are, and you just find yourself going for the snacks, right? That is important to mention because your nervous system is in dysregulation in that moment. How powerful would it be? And you're actually using that food as a way to regulate your nervous system, to comfort your nervous system. So how powerful would it be if you had a whole list of tools and skills that were powerful and worked wonderfully for you, So when you felt yourself getting stressed and you thought about, oh, hey, I'm going to go get the cookies, you could regulate your own nervous system without getting to the point where now you're binge eating or, again, stress eating. Same thing with emotional eating. When we're having these strong emotions come up, we may not know how to regulate them, how to work through them. And this we're going to touch more on the emotional energetics video, which is going to be next. But when we're having all of these strong emotions and we haven't been taught potentially how to work with our emotions, how to be comfortable with whatever emotions come up, we may go to eating. And same thing with cravings. So we need to be able to regulate our nervous system, and this is going to take care of so many of those stress eating, emotional eating, and craving situations that you may find yourself in. Have you ever noticed this? And so one tip again that you can do quickly is whenever you find yourself getting stressed, wanting to emotionally eat, having cravings, take a moment to check in and check your stress levels. How stressed do you feel? How does your heart rate feel? What is your body telling you? Are you breathing shallowly? Is your heart racing? Are you experiencing anxious thoughts? Take that mindful breath. Come back to the present moment. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. So the next piece, and again, this is something we'll go into more during the next video, but our childhood and adult wounds and traumas that we've experienced have a huge impact on our nervous system and our weight. So this goes beyond, again, it may include big traumas. So abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. It may include, violent crimes, war zones, things like that. There's also something called developmental trauma. So maybe your parents got divorced when you were smaller, or maybe there was someone with mental health challenges in your family, or there are so many things. And there's a study called the ACEs study, which goes in depth on this. But being aware of how these events have affected us. And this also goes to smaller wounds. So feeling like you weren't being heard as a child, being taught not to cry or not to express anger, being told that, you should be quiet, you should be seen but not heard, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things that, I really believe the majority of our parents were doing the best that they could with what they knew at the time. And sometimes there could be improvements. So we need to be able to understand that. And if we think that any of that happens to us, and there's something called the ACEs quiz or questionnaire that you can actually fill out. I'm going to include that in the mini course as well, that you can fill out, and you can Google it as well. But when you fill out the ACEs questionnaire, you get an idea of what you were exposed to as a child. Now, even if you weren't exposed to those things, but smaller things, emotional things, maybe some, emotional manipulation, like, oh, if you're good, I'll give you a candy or I'll get you a toy, etc. That literally rewires our nervous system from the very start. And so when our nervous system is rewired that way, we are actually more prone to be in fight or flight. Our nervous system is wired to be on the lookout, to be in surveillance all the time. And so now, as adults, we may be experiencing high levels of anxiety. We may be experiencing high levels of stress and emotional dysregulation because of that. So things that may not be stressful for other people may be stressful for us because our nervous system was wired differently from the beginning. Does that make sense? Have you ever heard of that or thought of that? So what I want you to know is that you can change this. You can heal from that. And it is something that you can do without having to experience, like re-traumatize yourself. You don't need to re-experience things or anything like that. These emotions get trapped within our field. We'll talk about that in the next video. And we need to be able to regulate our nervous system to know that we are safe, because that's what happens when our nervous system is rewired that way. It feels like it's not safe. So as children, potentially, we felt like we weren't safe. And again, this can go into adulthood as well. We may have had traumas and experiences as adults that don't make us feel safe. So did you know that having extra weight is actually like a security blanket? It is creating safety for us in a number of different ways. And so by regulating our nervous system, getting into a safe place, knowing that we are safe from within, the weight will come off. Now, this also relates to cravings and emotional eating, just like we mentioned. And again, the weight is protecting us. It's a safety mechanism. So becoming aware of what were ways that our weight may have protected us in the past, and is that serving us now? That's a question I'm posing to you today as well. Another little tip and trick, something to get your mind going. So when we regulate our nervous system, our body feels safe. Inflammation goes down, water retention goes down, our digestion improves, right? Our vagal tone increases, and the weight comes off. So again, we'll go deeper into emotional energetics in the next video, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. And now let's tie this back to the Radiant Health Protocol as a whole, because the Radiant Health Protocol is essentially, when we use this, weight gain, when we see it, is a symptom of being out of alignment with all 6 pillars. So you can just count calories, or you can try diets, you can try exercise all you want. But if you actually need, which you do, you need to work with your detoxification pathways, you need to reduce inflammation, you need to restore your gut flora, you need to heal and seal your leaky gut, you need to detoxify. You need to heal from your emotional wounds that keep you going back to emotional eating. You need to regulate your nervous system and understand what your body's communicating to you. You need all of these layers entangled and intertwined specifically for you. And this is what's going to get you weight loss, maintaining healthy weight, and not having to think about it and not having to try so hard. It's when all of these pieces fall into place, because it's all connected. So if you're ready to break free, lose weight, and maintain it without effort, click below, get the mini course alone or the bundle that includes the one-on-one consultation and a full month of support. And so this is also the reason why you may not have gotten results already. If you've tried other diets, if you've tried other protocols, if you've worked out for hours, if you maybe even worked with a practitioner, it's because no one else integrates all of these components. They are so crucial to do. And so with this mini course specifically, you're going to get a weekly meal planner. You're going to get specific trainings on gut health. You're going to get the specific breathing training that I mentioned. You're going to get specific trainings on emotional energetics. And you're also going to get a lot of different planners, meal planners, tips to avoid self-sabotage, weight loss affirmations, mind shifts, a fitness planner, a self-care journal. Again, so many guided practices so that you can do this. You're going to get accountability, you're going to get support. And so if you want to break free, lose the weight, keep it off, sign up for the full month of support, the bundle that's currently 91% off, to get those custom solutions for you. And you also get the mini course included for free. The link is below in the comments. So wherever you are on your journey, because some of you may want to do this on your own, and that's absolutely fine. That's why I've created this low-cost mini course, because it is a culmination of so much knowledge and information right at your fingertips, so many resources for you, so you can do this on your own. And there are some of you that don't want to make the mistakes. You don't want to wait. You don't want to lose time. You want the fast track. That's what that full month of support bundle is for. And I would be honored to help you on your journey. So I want you to know that this is such a key component, nervous system regulation, and I invite you to really invest in yourself. Do this work, even if it's just the tips and tricks that I gave you today. Take the time, invest in yourself for your weight loss, for your transformation, for your health and wellness as a whole. As always, I wish you all the best, and I will see you on the next video in this masterclass series.